This book is called Dogzilla, and it is written by Ryan Roughgarden. Today I'm going to read for you the introduction and then chapters 1 and 2. So here we go. Dogzilla. This is middle school James, and this is his dog Cosmo. Cosmo is secretly part of a group of evil dogs. Unlike all the other dogs part of it, Cosmo isn't evil. He just works there. Everyone is scared of their boss, a chihuahua named Mr. Mud. Dun, dun, dun. No one likes Mr. Mud. Mr. Mud is owned by a little girl named Susie. She loves Mr. Mud. She doesn't know the gender, so she assumes that it's a girl, when actually it's a boy, which is why Mr. Mud wears a unicorn horn every day to work. He always says to himself, every day, "Get this thing off me!" James just found out that his family has to move to a different state because his dad has to work there for a whole summer. He really doesn't want to move to Chicago, but when he gets there, he meets lots of new friends, and Cosmo is there to help him. Chapter 1, School and the Bus. As James sat through math class, he kept thinking about moving and how he was going to get through it. "James," said Ms. Bacori, "what's the answer?" James popped his head up from his desk. "Yes," mumbled James. "Well, what's the answer?" James started to sweat heavily. 3? asked James. "Were you paying attention?" asked Ms. Bacori. Suddenly, James's friend shouted out, "It's 4!" James sighed in relief. Then the bell rang. James's friend Travis, the one that shouted, "4!" walked with him to the bus. James was no longer thinking about moving. He was now thinking, since Travis had saved him from detention, why yesterday he had yelled at someone's face, "Bananas!" James walked on to the bus. He sat down next to Travis. They talked. Then Travis got off. The rest of the way, James was silent. All he did was sit there and look out the window. Then it was his stop. He walked inside to the surprise of his mom packing boxes. Then he sprinted upstairs to his room and saw his dad packing boxes too. "Stop!" shouted James. "What are you doing?" James's dad replied, "Don't you know already? We're moving." "But I was going to come home and play my drum set or eat bananas." "I'm still thinking about that," James gasped. "I know what I can do. I can do both. Oh, wait, you've already packed up my drum set. At least I can still eat a banana." "Sorry, we're out." "Come on." Chapter 2, Cosmo. As his family was packing, Cosmo found a skateboard. For some reason, he hopped on it, rode across the street, then hopped off the skateboard and jumped onto the sidewalk. He ran over to the field and saw his buddy Sparks. Sparks was busy eating a leftover ice cream with a sausage conveniently placed on top. There was a little bit left. Cosmo ran over to eat the rest when Sparks barked, "Hey, get your dirty paws off my ice cream!" Then Cosmo grabbed the sausage and ran back home. He dug a nice hole and put the sausage in it to save for later and ran back inside. To Cosmo's surprise, his family was still packing. He found a wand cake, a waffle pancake, took it outside, chewed on it for a while, and dug up the sausage and ate the sausage. He was amazed when he also found a leftover corn dog. It was a perfect dessert. This was turning out to be the best 10 minutes of his life. Cosmo was glad to finally move away from Mr. Mud, but he had forgotten that Mr. Mud gave out sausages every day. That's the only reason why he joined. It was almost time to move, and most of the boxes were packed. James went outside and said to himself, "Why is my skateboard way over here?" Then Cosmo jumped onto James's back. "You can't know it was me," said Cosmo. "Oh yeah, you can't hear me." James hunched over so Cosmo could stay perfectly on his back. Then Sparks' owner threw a ball into the road from the field. Cosmo ran into the road and got the ball from Sparks and ran inside. Stay tuned for chapters 3 and 4.